The housing crash of 2023 is worsening, particularly in these 10 cities. I anticipate that home prices will experience significant declines this year. In fact, some of these cities may face price drops of up to 30 or even 40%. Number 10. Nashville. This was a housing market that experienced a significant influx of people during the pandemic, resulting in a substantial increase in prices. However, that trend has now changed. As a result, there has been a massive surge in the number of available properties. A year ago, there were 1,600 homes for sale in Nashville, but now there are 6,500, indicating a 300% growth year over year. This statistic demonstrates that sellers in Nashville are likely to become increasingly desperate in 2023. I believe we could witness a decline in home prices of up to 34%. Currently, the average home value in Nashville is $421,000, while my algorithm, which predicts home prices in America, estimates that the fair value price to be $2,276,000. This illustrates the enormity of the housing bubble, especially in our ninth-ranked housing market, where prices are projected to decline. Number 9. Dallas. This city experienced a significant boom during the pandemic, but the situation is different in Dallas, Texas. We are not witnessing as many home buyers moving into the area, resulting in a sharp increase in inventory. The number of homes on the market in the Dallas-Fort Worth area has surged from 4,900 a year ago to nearly 15,000 today. One major concern for Dallas is the excessively high property taxes. On average, homeowners in Dallas pay nearly $10,000 per year in property taxes, which is unaffordable for local homeowners and buyers. Currently, home buyers in Dallas needs to allocate almost 40% of their income towards mortgages, interest, property taxes, and insurance. Historically, this figure was around 20%, making the current situation unsustainable. Clearly, people in Dallas cannot allocate 40% of their income towards housing payments. Therefore, it is evident that home prices need to experience a crash, possibly by 20 or 30%. Now, let's move on to the 8th-ranked housing market. Number 8. San Francisco. We have already observed a 15% decline in home prices year over year, bringing them down to $1 million in San Francisco. However, even at that price, it is still considered high, particularly when the local economy is being heavily impacted by layoffs. Companies such as Facebook, Google, Twitter, LinkedIn, and DocuSign have been laying off workers on a large scale in recent months, significantly affecting the San Francisco Bay Area. Many homeowners are losing their jobs, and potential home buyers are also facing unemployment. This is why I believe prices will continue to decline significantly in San Francisco, San Jose, and the surrounding areas in the Northern California throughout 2023. When it comes to understanding and predicting home prices in America, my model is based on 3 key aspects of every housing market. Firstly, it considers whether the housing market is overvalued, which prices surpassing income and wage growth. If this is the case, prices are likely to decline. Secondly, the model takes into account the increase in inventory. When there is a substantial amount of unsold homes on the market, sellers become desperate and are compelled to reduce the overvalued prices closer to their long-term levels. Lastly, the model considers the impact of layoffs, which contribute to a significant amount of selling pressure and can lead to an increase in foreclosures and distressed sales. Number 7. Idaho. Boise, Idaho at number 7 exemplifies all three aspects in abundance. It is a housing market that has already been experiencing a crash and will continue to do so throughout 2023. When I analyze the most overvalued housing markets in America, where prices are projected to decline the most, Boise stands out. According to Zillow, the typical home value in Boise is $454,000, but the fair value supported by income and wages is $317,000. This suggests that the prices in Boise, which have already dropped by 10% from their peak, could potentially decline by another 30% during this crash. Number 6. Tampa, Florida. Tampa, Florida, our number 6 market, serves as an excellent example of an area where the local population does not have high incomes and struggles to afford the housing prices. The median household income in Tampa is $64,000 per year, while the median home value is $361,000, creating a value-to-income ratio of 5.6. This ratio is even higher than it was at the peak of the previous housing bubble in 2007, which eventually led to a 50% decline in prices over 5 years. If you are a homeowner in Tampa, this should be concerning as your market is now in an even bigger bubble than it was during the largest housing bubble in history. This is unlikely to end well for Tampa, and significant price declines of around 20 to 30% can be expected. Therefore, the outlook for Tampa and Florida in general is not favorable, and the combination of an overvalued market, increasing inventory, and reliance on tourism and second home buyers suggest significant price declines are on the horizon, likely in the range of 20 to 30%. Number 5. Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville is a housing market that has been highly favored by real estate investors in recent years. However, the scenario is changing as these investors have ceased buying in Jacksonville and are now beginning to sell their properties. This shift is driven by the struggling rental market in Jacksonville metro area. When you combine this with housing market that is overvalued by 32%, it becomes evident that there are challenges ahead. The typical Zillow value for homes in Jacksonville is $350,000, while the fair value is estimated to be $239,000. This implies that home prices in Jacksonville could potentially decline by 32% over the next several years. However, it is important to note that I don't anticipate the entire decline to happen in 2023 alone. Housing crashes are typically slow-motion events that unfolds over several years. This highlights the vulnerability of the housing market in Jacksonville to these ongoing declines. Number 4. Phoenix, Arizona. The prices in Phoenix has already experienced a decline of approximately 10%, and there is potential for further decreases of 25 to 30%. Sellers in Phoenix housing market are already feeling the effects of this downturn and are becoming increasingly anxious. The share of listings with a price cut, as reported by Realtor.com, has significantly increased. In January 2022, only 10% of listings had a price cut, whereas in January 2023, the figure jumped to 41%. Number 3. Salt Lake City. The home builders' excessive activity is resulting in a continuous influx of inventory for both sale and rent in our number 3 housing market, which is Utah, particularly Salt Lake City. The home builders have shown great enthusiasm in this area. A graph depicting the number of building permits issued over the past 12 months in Salt Lake City reveals a peak of 12,000 permits in the middle of 2022. This peak surpasses the previous peak reached in the early mid-2000s. The situation is even more extreme in nearby Provo, where the surge in building permits is nearly double the level of the previous peak in 2006. 2026. It's worth noting that these building permits can take several years to translate into completed houses. Therefore, there is still a significant amount of inventory that will enter the market, leading to further price declines. Moreover, most of the metros in Utah are already overvalued by about 30%. Number 2. Las Vegas. Our number 2 housing market is Las Vegas, Nevada, which has a historically volatile housing market similar to Phoenix. Currently, Las Vegas has definitely entered the bust stage. The housing market in Las Vegas is heavily influenced by investors and tourist demand, both of which suffered during a recession. We can already observe the impact of these in the rising inventory levels in Las Vegas. Over the past year, the number of homes for sale has surged from 3,900 to 8,500, surpassing the long-run average for January by 25%. This increased inventory in creating significant pressure on sellers, compelling them to reduce prices. Number 1. Austin, Texas. In Austin, Texas, we have already witnessed a 15% decline in home prices from their peak. The inventory of homes for sale is skyrocketing, leading sellers to hastily reduce prices. Additionally, Austin is experiencing a significant number of layoffs, which further compounds the challenges faced by the housing market. The factors we have discussed in this video, such as high property tax rates and layoffs, are all contributing to the downward pressure of Austin housing market. Considering these circumstances, I anticipate the home price in Austin will experience a total decline of 40%. Like and subscribe to iProsper Plus for more interesting and valuable contents. See you on the next one.